That's going to record David, and this will be incredibly useful for us later. Right, so talk me through exactly what you just said. So, and for, I can't like definitely say we can go down this direction, but this is super helpful to know if we can slot this in, find the right makers, and we can make this work. So, talk me through this problem, Rosie.
Okay, so just off the back of the fact that most of my followers are musicians, I went to music school, university, and so everyone I've met from then on has been at gigs. Like most of the people who are in my audience are other musicians, and there's a really common problem, which is when you go to gigs or even traveling abroad. Like I'm going to be traveling Europe for
Yeah,
gigs for the first time this summer, and it's essentially where I have very limited amount of bags I can carry. If I've already got my harp on my back, then I can carry maybe one suitcase. And lots of people have this if they've got a cello, whatever, everything else needs to get into one bag so that you can still move about and get on trains, etc. And my equipment, I'm worried that they're going to break when they're on top of each other. So like I will put my MPC in my suitcase and then I will also put my pedal board in my suitcase. And they're both expensive, delicate pieces of equipment. And I worry that they're going to break each other, like either way, from them being on top of each other. So I'll do things like put a puffer jacket in my suitcase, which takes
yeah.
up a lot of space, just to try and ensure the safety of these items. So, like, I did think a product which would be very useful to a lot of people I know would be like a sort of a gig bag, which you could safely store your different like items in, maybe even having a place where you could have your leads and your wires that you bring. And if you've got more delicate items in there that they're not going to actually break,
I'm with
I think
you.
it's really
And you
useful.
mentioned like a divider of some sort where things can get separated, organized, and still like strapped on, and you can carry with you, and you're off, and everything's all
Yeah.
strapped. Declan,
Either to go in a bag or in a suitcase kind of situation. But yeah, at the moment I'm someone will go, oh, let me help you with your bags. And then they throw the suitcase down and I'm like, there's a glass screen on that. That's effectively like a laptop style screen. And
yeah,
then I've got these
oh
hard
God,
metal cases and
yeah.
it's just a nightmare where I don't want anything to break. And just trying to fit everything in one space and for flights, for trains, everything. Like I try and condense everything down to in one bag
Yeah,
and then I
yeah,
put my harp on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Rose, I might have got this wrong from Declan yesterday. He mentioned something about musicians needing your set to go with you in a way, like something that represents your. Do you ever have something to do with your set, or is it? You might have mentioned music instrument. I'll need to speak to him again. Would you ever have part of your set or the visuals of what you want to represent? I don't know, any boards that could then get self-assembled to represent your set in a way, or I might have misheard him. I'll clarify for him exactly what he said.
When you say your set, you don't mean your set list, the songs you're going to play. You mean
You
like the
know,
set, like the
the
arrangement.
actual, the actual set itself. I mean, that's really
It
done.
really depends on what level you're working. Like if you're a big artist, you might travel on tour with a set, but that would probably be like Lady Gaga kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Um, I've constructed sets for gigs I've done. Like I did a gig that I put on in the hospital and I worked with a set designer on that to construct a set. But the other shows I've done, I haven't built my own set. I've just worked
Sure.
with whatever stage they had.
Yeah.
I've also worked with like visual artists to create abstract imagery that would be made bespoke for each song. And I've had that behind me during while I've performed the songs. But again, I wouldn't take that to every show because it's just a lot.
Yeah. 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 I'm with you. I'm with you. And Rosie, just out of curiosity, do you ever do much for your audience?
I want much. I don't have much yet.
Yeah, what would that merch look like? Would it be traditional stuff, or would you find something more bespoke that you think, okay, I want to do something different?
I would like to do something different. I did wonder about doing something with like star-shaped hair clips, just because that's kind of a look I do a lot, where I have a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
stuff everywhere.
yeah,
Um, and also just based on the idea that something that was like cheap and cheerful and easily accessible that could be sold cheaply but en
yeah,
masse. I think
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
that could
yeah,
be an option.
yeah,
Um, I know that t-shirts do really well
Yeah,
because everybody buys t-shirts and they don't have to love you as an artist if your t-shirt's cool. Like,
yeah.
you know, a lot of people will buy t-shirts to artists that they just kind of quite liked or that they saw. Like I've gone to record fairs with friends and they've just bought t-shirts of bands they've never heard of because they were like, yeah, the color's cool and the logo's cool. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
never
yeah,
listened to them.
yeah, sure.
So t-shirts do well. But I do think that something more, I'd be more keen to do something more unique. But I don't know what that would look like if it wasn't clothing.
If
A
you
lot of
could,
people do clothing.
I'm with you. If you could pick, it's the last thing I'll ask, right? If you could pick something, you're doing Glastonbury this year, right?
3 times.
Fantastic, right? If you could pick something that you'd imagine you'd want your audience for the first time that comes to Glastonbury to have that would represent you, it's almost like, and you know it's your audience now because it's part of your tribe, and they've got this thing that
Mm.
represents you, right? And everyone's there in this sea of people, and your tribe have this thing. What would that be cool? Would that be something you think? Yeah,
That would be dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
What would you want that to be though? Would it be something that they would wear like jewelry, or would it be an ornamental harp on a chain? Or I'm throwing random ideas out here, so we've got like multiple things we're talking about, and from that I can start working towards something, right? But would that be cool?
Yeah. I mean, a harp as a jewelry piece is sick,
Yeah, yeah,
especially if it was like the electric harp design
yeah,
rather than the conventional concert harp.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that could look very cool as like a pendant or an earring or something,
yeah.
or some kind of, I was gonna say badge, but I think a lot of people do badges for their merch, and I just like I never see anyone wearing a badge. I see people selling. I see artists sell badges. I never see people wearing a badge. I think pendants that could be on like chains is cool. Earrings is cool. Um, and then yeah, designs on t-shirts could be really cool. Uh, anything that looks like a vinyl is also cool.
Like the vinyl record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would look sick. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a cool area to go into. Even like imagine like a silver, but like a fairly weighted silver pendant that
Yes.
looks like
Yeah,
an
I'm
electric
thinking
harp.
that. I'm thinking that they're just glimmering out in in that sea of people, and they've got this one thing that would be very, very cool. I think that would look sick.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm with you
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, that would be really cool.
And so your shows, do we have them like will they be daytime or evening, or do you know?
Wednesday is um late evening. No, let me think. Wednesday is around 5 p.m. Something like it could be 5:45, 5:30, something like that. And then the Thursday um, is going to be a really good spot because the main stages don't open until the Friday.
Yeah.
So the Thursday, everyone's in and they want to go hear music. They want to hear good music.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is when I feel like I'm going to get the biggest audience. That'll be Thursday at, I think it's 9 p.m., 9:15, something like that.
Cool, Rosa, is to have something exclusive and made just for that first batch that come through. And you can
Yeah.
only get it at certain points in the year, or you can't get it because it's like so that would be very cool, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Just an elite thing that your hyper-focused audience, your special group that follow you, that love you, have this one thing, and you can only get it for like a fixed time before that. That would be very cool. And then whenever you roll out a Glasto or some other concert, you have this thing coming out. And whatever this thing is, whatever we decide on, could then evolve into a little family of products or a little ecosystem, as it were. And then they could become more functional. And you could start with something and potentially grow to become more functional. Just as ideas right now, I'm thinking, I'm just like
Yeah.
throwing a few things out there. I think that could be quite cool.
Yeah, 100%. Even if a harp shaped something could be like maybe it has this one would be one for like the girlies, but if you had like a lip gloss inside it, you know, it could just be
Oh,
like
that could be
loads of
quite
it.
cool.
You know,
Yes.
like how everybody loves the phone case that has this space for the lip gloss on the back, and it's like it's just like you can put your lip gloss in your pocket. It's just the fact that it does both that makes it kind of cool. So
Yeah,
it could
yeah,
be like
yeah.
a dual functionality type, or like it's a harp and it's also a bottle opener. You know, just like something kind of cute.
I'd love that, Rose. I think that's very, very cool. I'm trying to figure out if we can add some functionality to it, because if you had something that actually had your little beats playing, like one of your beats, like I
Mm,
don't know if we can do that. I'm just thinking out of the box here. I don't want to add too much complexity to it, but that would be fucking cool if like you press the button and one of your tunes came through on that thing, and it's
yeah,
effectively your brand just going through everywhere, just as an idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's really cool.
Just thinking out of the box there. But okay, Rosa, I've got a lot to work with. I've got some really cool ideas, and I know the direction you're thinking of right now, which helps me tremendously with
Mm,
multiple ideas. As I start putting some brief ideas together, I'll fire across an email, and I'll drop you a text just to let you know I've sent across an email. Have a look, tell me what your thoughts are so far. And once we finalize everything, we put it all together. Um, we'll pop it all down as a contract. You can have a look, make sure you're happy with it, and then we can get started with finding designers, getting the process started. When is Glasgow? Just out of curiosity. So I'm imagining
it's
it's
at the end of June.
end of June, so April, May, June. Okay, so we have enough time. So if we wanted to get something for Glasgow, we've got enough time to do that. I think we've got more than enough time to do it. But that gives us a good deadline nonetheless, and have something ready. Okay.
24th to the 29th. So I'll be performing on the 25th, the 26th, and the 29th.
Oh, it's my birthday, 25th. That'd be good to pop down there.
Ah,
Yeah, fantastic.
ah.
Fantastic. Right, Rosa, thank you for today. Is it Sophia or Rosa? Is it a mix? What's the
Rose is my middle name and my artist name, and then
Yeah,
my first name is Sophia.
Sophia. Fantastic. And which do you prefer? Do you prefer Rosa or Sophia?
Oh, I just find like a lot of people just now only call me Rosa, and
Yeah.
that's fine too. So whatever, either. It's
Okay.
totally.
Okay, fantastic. Rosa, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it. I love your story. I love everything we're going to do and work with on this project. I will keep you posted. If there's anything you're curious about, just feel free to just throw it across as a question. We're going to keep this as transparent, as open, and as collaborative as possible. We want to make this a success. We want this to be a really bright, vibrant story that we can all just share and feel some really good energy come out of. And that all depends on us just being really transparent, telling you from the start exactly how it's going to play out, what we're doing, and what we can do and what we can't do, and what will work and what won't work. And once we are both on the same trajectory, that I think it'll help a lot. But again, anything you need, pick up the phone, just ring me. I'm Shane. Happy to answer there and then. And we're keen to make this work, like I said. So around the end of June is when we'll also, I don't know if you're interested in seeing product designers and any other design festivals, but some really cool design shows in London will be popping over to around
Mm.
the end of June. So if you want to grab a coffee at that point and have a chat, or even before then, that'll be really cool to go meet up and have a coffee. I'll get Elena to arrange something and we can go from there.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Rosa, enjoy your day and I'll speak to you soon. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.